Hi, this is Andy from Black Veil Brides, and you're watching Chaos TV, and I remembered all of it. It's impressive for me. I'm excited.
So hi, Andy. How has the tour been so far?
The tour has been fantastic. This is only the third or fourth show, but it's been great. How has your tour been?
You released, oh my god, this tour has been awesome. This is going to be such a bad interview. You released your third album, Wretched and Divine, in 2012. What kind of reception did it get, and how have you thought about the next record yet?
Usually we get a very positive reception. Typically, interviews don't start with the person saying, this is going to be a really bad interview. Reflects poorly on me. Usually I'm charming and entertaining, but not to you, apparently.
I'm also charming, so this is going to be a perfect interview.
See? We made it so much better. Second question, we're rolling now.
So yeah, have you thought about the new album at all?
It'll be a while, honestly. We're after this cycle, we finish in the end of beginning of March is when we're done touring on this album, and we're probably just going to take some time to write. I think that there's no rush to get another record out there right now. We made a big concept record that's done really well for us, and I don't think that artistically we're not trying to beat it right now. I think that we're happy to have it there for a while, and then we're going to see what we can write and see if we come up with something better. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, it could be another year or two before we even release anything, but we'll see.
Okay. So where do you draw your inspiration from?
I'm kind of all over the place. I personally am really into like comic books, and I've always been really into DC comic book characters like Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, that kind of stuff. But musically, the Misfits, Social Distortion, The Damned, that kind of stuff has really always been my favorite bands. And then in life, I don't know, I really like stand-up comedy a lot. Yeah, so I do listen to a lot of stand-up, and I write comedy. I'm in a comedy web series for Funny or Die, and yeah, that's my life.
How would you describe yourself, and how would you say those qualities reflect on your music?
You just get real phallic.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I wouldn't probably describe myself as phallic. I mean, I have a penis, but I wouldn't say that I am one giant penis. I have a penis, but my whole body is not a penis. Yeah, just take a note. Yeah, I have functioning arms and face, all of which is not penile. I forgot. What was the question?
What would you describe yourself, and how would you say those qualities reflect on your music?
Other than not a penis, I would describe myself. I don't know. I'm Andy. It's a little more pretentious than I care to be to describe myself in other people's terms, but I don't know. I'm just a guy who is talking to a microphone right now. That's really most of my life is sort of spent. I'm always holding a microphone, or I have a microphone in front of my face. And I like for people to hear what I have to say, so maybe that shapes my life, is the inability to understand that someone might not find me awesome.
That's impossible. What or who inspired you to make music?
Kind of everything in my adolescence. My dad was a singer, and I loved music from the time I was little, and I can't really imagine doing anything else. When I was really young, I found these band Kiss. I found trading cards, and I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I didn't really know anything about music, but to me they looked like superheroes. So like that was like my cachet into finding rock music, and I was obsessed with it when I was little, and it's really all I thought about or did. And I always joke that like the last time I considered a different career was like I wanted to be a superhero. So like that's how long ago was the last time I thought about doing anything else. So I mean, this is my whole life, and I really don't have any other skills. And I'm hoping that at the best I could become like a really musically gifted homeless man on the street, because if this doesn't work out, that's really all. Like I got no education. I'm just sort of doing this. So please help me not be a musically gifted homeless man.
So you don't want to start school again after if something happens?
No, there's no point. It's all over for me.
Well, that's sad. So, actually, what kind of reputation you'd like to have, Black Veil Brides to have when the band comes to an end someday? What would you like to be remembered by?
They're still touring? No, I don't know. I like to think that we'll go as long as we go. I don't really like to think about the end of the band. For me, it'll go as long as it feels right, and that could be 40 years, it could be 4 years, who knows. I'd love to be able to say that I spent my life making music, so I can't really think about how I'd like the band to be looked at, but we're from a rock band, a bunch of guys that had dreams and, you know, try to live the American dream, so to speak. You know, we all came from small towns and kind of living a big thing for us. So, yeah, I don't know, just a rock and roll band that hopefully will get to stand the test of time. But that's up to the audience, really. You know, I mean, if our fans are willing to put up with us for another, 40 years, that would be awesome.
So I heard you did a collaboration with Ronnie Radke on his new mixtape. Tell us about that.
The first song that we did was it was really cool song, and I think that just in terms of scheduling, we couldn't finish it up, so we wound up changing, and I went in and sang the chorus on a song that he had already written, which is also awesome, but a very kind of crazy, tongue-in-cheek, weird, like awesome song that I think a lot of people will be very entertained by. Definitely not something like I've ever done before, but it's a lot of fun. I've known Ronnie for a long time, and he's a really good guy, so it was fun.
Okay. So after the Golden
questions on.
Oh, you don't even know. So after the Golden Gods Awards this year, you got quite a lot of attention. Do you think there is bad press, or is any press always better than no press at all?
I don't remember being at the Golden Gods. Was that a thing? No, I don't care. I do what I do, and I've always been pretty outspoken about my feelings, and I try to be as genuine as possible, you know. I don't really like to hide or mask my emotions for the sake of press or whatever else. So, yeah, if people see me in a negative light, that's fine. I know what kind of person I am, and I know what kind of person I am to our audience, and the rest doesn't really it doesn't matter to me. Basically, you know, it doesn't. For me, it's not a situation where something like the Golden Gods or whatever else, all these instances people could pull up of a time where I've done something that they didn't approve of or something. That's, to me, that's not really. It's not up to anybody else. I do like, though, that there is so much activity going on in the room right now. So if you could see, I'm hoping in a minute we're gonna siphon in about 30 more people that are gonna.
I think this is totally normal here, though.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know.
I've never been to Finland before. I guess this is the new thing. No, but anyway, Golden Gods are not. I'm me. Hopefully, people like me. I like me.
We do like you too.
Yay.
So the industry has changed a lot in a way that home studios and new formats and downloading music for free are taking over it. What do you think about those things? Like, how do you?
I've never really, for me, it's like from the time that we started our career, we've been in the digital age. You know, when I was little, obviously, it didn't exist, but, through growing up, I sort of just kind of, I guess, I'm ingratiated to it in the sense that I understand it, and it would be silly and, sort of futile for me to, think about, the old days when people, and sometimes you hear about, people used to sell X amount of records and blah, 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 but, I mean, we do well, and I thank our fans. Obviously, one thing that you can't really do at our level is, what bands used to do in the 80s and 90s is make a bunch of money off of music. We just don't. And I think that that's one thing that fans don't necessarily, a lot of them don't understand, is that I don't get off stage and people don't, like, hand me bags of money. It's like being in a rock band or being in a metal band or whatever else is not, in 2013, it's not a hugely, you're not making $1 billion and all this, but, thankfully I do well enough to have a home and to have a car and all the things that I've been allotted because of making music, and I think that that's something that some people should look at and realize that that's amazing in itself. The fact that we go up on stage and, play songs and people appreciate that, and then that's my living, that's how I make a living, is pretty damn incredible. So, I might not have the ability to, buy Lear jets like people did in the 80s or whatever, but that's, I don't even know how to fly a plane. So, no, but I think that, in terms of the world view of music, not even talking about monetary stuff, it's opened up the opportunity for so many bands to be seen and heard. I don't know, and in fact I can say I don't think that a kid from where I'm from would have had the opportunity like I had if it wasn't for the internet and social media. I was able to spread my music and message to people, from a part of the world or part of the country where that, it's not prevalent. So, yeah, I appreciate social media. Obviously, there are restrictions, and I'm the type of person who likes to keep a lot of my private life to myself. But, I like to be able to connect with an audience, and I think it's benefited music. There's so much music now.
Maybe even too much. I mean, then you
can pick and choose, like if I don't, it's like people say there's too much music, and that's fine, but like I don't have to listen to shitty things, I just don't. if I don't want to listen to like some kid who made a SoundCloud account and like just is smacking trees together or something, like I don't have to, and maybe somebody out there wants to, and now they have the chance to, where they wouldn't have 20 years ago.
True, that is true. So what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Don't smack trees together to make music. I don't know. I think that the best advice I've ever gotten is to it was things that stick with me, or you know, in terms of career advice or something. There's certain things like Sebastian Bach, I've said before, gave me some really good advice, which was, you know, just continue what you're doing in a genuine way, and eventually, and don't. It was very early in my career, and it's like, don't worry about being accepted by, you know, the community and the sort of, you know, getting the artistic credibility of peers and everything, because eventually those people fall by the wayside and just continue doing what you're doing, which I've always known, but it was interesting to have someone say that to me directly, particularly when I was younger. So, and that's advice I give to everybody that asks me, whether other people believe in what you're doing or not, having sort of balls of steel, so to speak, and knowing that what you're doing is important to you is the only way that you'll find success in any field, whether it's music or anything else. You have to believe intrinsically in what you're doing, you know.
Exactly. So one thing you take on tour our fans would never think of?
That's something I always have on tour that people wouldn't think about. I don't know. I get crazy things on tour, like people bring me stuff, but I'm trying to think if there's anything that I bring that's all that weird. I don't think so. No, I can't think of anything. I'm sorry, it's very boring. I used to bring all kinds of crazy shit, but I don't know, probably on winter tours I bring long underwear. Like if you see me anytime outside I'm signing, I'm wearing full body long underwear underneath my clothes that you can't see. So that's, I don't know if that's weird, but that's, I have to have that before I leave on cold place. But I guess it's just fucking cold here all the time, right? Like Finland's just year round cold.
And yeah, this isn't even the worst. I mean, we don't get snow yet.
For us, it's pretty crazy. You know, we're from Los Angeles. So
exactly. Yeah. So, what type of music do you listen to at home or on the road?
It varies. I mean, I anything from, you know, Bruce Springsteen to AFI to anything else. So, I listen to, like I said, a lot of stand-up comedy and podcasts, and I don't know. I most recently I've been listening to the new AFI record. I was a huge AFI fan when I was a kid, and like anything, you know, when you get older, and I'm making my own music, I kind of lose touch a little bit. And not to say I'm not a fan, but I wasn't as devoutly following them for a couple of years, and their new record's fantastic. It really got me back into the band, and I went back and kind of re-listened.
That's like nostalgic.
Yeah, it made me think of, you know, being 12, 13 years old and getting that. So yeah.
Same with me. So, what has been the most memorable venue you've ever played?
Most memorable venue. Well, I would say something like Brixton Academy in London. You know, selling out Brixton Academy is something that people think of when you're a kid being in a rock band. So, like, the first time we ever did that was amazing. It's all scale though. You know, like it was a small little venue, but the first time we ever played out of the country was exciting. You know, when we were just kids playing in Canada for the first time seemed like, you know, we're in Montreal. It's crazy, but you know, so. But I would say in terms of historically. I also, this last summer, I got to play in the venue that we were headlining a summer tour. We got to play in the venue that I first ever saw Kiss in my hometown. So that was really cool to see all the people in there, and you know, where I could point out where I was sitting when I was a kid. So that was fun. But yeah, I mean, it varies. That's the ghost door that opens and closes.
Okay, so
I have to go get ready. I have to play a show
exactly,
tonight.
And so that's where like final words. Any messages you want to get out there?
If you're in a dangerous, toxic area, wear a mask so that you can avoid inhalation of chemical substances.
I think that is pretty good. So.